We're excited for baseball season.
Yes.
We have opening day. There's fake opening day with the Yankees and Giants on Netflix, but then Thursday is real opening day. And so we had to get our baseball predictions for the year out there so that we can revisit them and hold ourselves accountable for the entire baseball season. And Aly, you've been teasing basically that you have some wild ideas for what's going to happen in the new season.
I have some wild picks. We're going to pick our World Series matchup and who we think will win. And then we're also going to pick American League and National League MVP, American League and National League Cy Young, and American League and National League Rookie of the Year. And so I have some interesting picks.
Okay, I have all the playoff teams ready.
You have all the playoff teams?
I have all the playoff teams.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't go that far.
Okay. Well, who should go first?
I guess go first with your full-on playoff teams.
Okay. NL, I don't think I have it being that crazy.
Okay.
This is in no particular order, but the 6 teams I think will be Dodgers, Phillies, Cubs, Padres, Braves, Mets.
All right.
And if I was gonna swap one out, I was kind of on the fence. I feel like the Giants could be good this year, so maybe the Giants sneak in. I'm kind of on the fence about the Padres. So,
yeah.
And the Braves missed last year, right? They had a lot of injuries.
Yeah,
so.
they did.
In the AL, I have yet again no particular order: Red Sox, Royals, Rangers, Mariners, Orioles, Yankees.
Wow, leaving out my Guardians like that.
Yeah, they easily could have missed last year.
They won the American League Central.
If the Tigers didn't absolutely urinate down their leg, the Tigers would have won the division.
The Guardians had to get hot too. It wasn't like the Guardians just got lucky. They certainly needed the Tigers to fall off, but they got really hot as well. But either way, okay, those are your predictions.
Yes.
Who do you have in your World Series?
I'm going with the Mets in the National League, just because I feel like it'd be boring to pick the Dodgers. Honestly.
But of all of those 6 teams, you're going with the Mets?
Yeah.
That's a lot of faith in those Mets that no longer have Alonso.
The Phillies are old and they've lost pieces versus getting better. The Cubs, I don't really think. I mean, I think particularly in a bad division, I think the Cubs are clearly the best, but I don't think they're good enough to win multiple playoff series. The Padres, like I said, I'm on the fence about them even making it. The Braves, maybe the Braves, because they have a decent set of pitching if it just stays healthy, and obviously a good lineup. But the Mets, I feel like they're very well-rounded.
Yeah.
And I really like their top end of their rotation. You're talking about Freddie Peralta, Clay Holmes, Nolan McLean could be really good. So I feel like they have a lot of dangerous arms. They definitely have a good lineup with Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor. So I don't think they're going to miss Pete Alonso very much at all.
Okay. I was thinking.
And they got Bo Bichette too.
Yeah.
If you swap Pete Alonso for Bo Bichette, I think that's an upgrade to your lineup.
Interesting. A team I'm surprised that's not in there for you is the Brewers.
Why is that surprising?
They were one of the best teams, one of the hottest teams with one of the best regular seasons last year.
Yeah, they had a good season last year, but teams like that come and go all the time. Who on the Brewers am I afraid of? Am I thinking about?
As far as what, pitching or
anything?
Anything.
Name 3 Brewers that are oh, that's a good player.
I think Bryce Terang is going to have another really, really good season. So I would not leave the Brewers out of that equation in the National League. I would definitely have them in the hunt for the playoffs.
I feel like my main thing with the Brewers is their pitching. Obviously, you have Jacob Misiorowski, who had a good run last year for part of the season. But I'm looking at their pitching staff right now, and these are not guys that you expect to go year in and year out and have big seasons.
Okay.
Brandon Woodruff is their ace. He's obviously very good. Jacob Misiorowski, we saw him for flashes last year. But then the rest of the rotation is Quinn Priester, Chad Patrick, Kyle Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
These are guys that there's a lot of teams where I don't think any of those 3 make the rotation.
Okay.
In fact, 2 of them are Red Sox castoffs. So I don't feel like I really have a lot of concern about the Brewers this year.
Okay. I think they're going to make the playoffs. All right. Let's move on to who we think will. I guess we could give I'll give my World Series matchup. Who did you say was in your World Series matchup?
Mets and Red Sox.
Mets and Red Sox.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, I'm going to have the Dodgers back in the World Series because I just don't see anybody else challenging them in the National League to make it back. I would honestly love it for it to be the Phillies because they've kind of been an NL team that I usually root for in the playoffs, but they just have shown they cannot get it done.
Yeah.
They cannot do it. And then,
and like I said, they're getting old.
They are getting older.
They have a lot of guys that could be injury prone, and they're pitching particularly.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, I love some of their pitchers. Zach Wheeler's great, but they lost Ranger Suarez.
Right.
And then, then you're like trusting Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola to stay healthy and be ready for the playoffs. And
I do really like Wheeler though as a pitcher. So I think the Phillies will make the playoffs as you said, but I just don't think they can get it done. But I'll go Dodgers for the National League, and then for the American League, I'm going home team similar to you, Cleveland Guardians. And it has been 10 years since they made the World Series back in 2016. Lost in 7 games to the Cubs. The Cubs broke their curse. So Cleveland has had the longest drought for a team, a franchise, since winning the World Series. They haven't won it since 1948. And I don't think they're going to get the drought solved this year, but I do think that they'll be back in the World Series.
Come on. If you're going to pick them to get all the way to the World Series, just go completely unhinged.
I think they are going to lose, but I do think that they'll make it to the World Series this year.
How are they going to make it to the World Series?
I have some secondary picks that will explain my reasoning, but yeah.
Are they just you doubling down on being a homer?
All right, who are we going with? Let's go for Cy Young.
I think Paul Skeens is obvious.
Okay.
In the National League, he's the obvious. Like, I feel like I'm trying to just choose something different because I don't want to just pick the obvious, boring Yankees versus Dodgers. But I truly don't think the Yankees will make it. For the Dodgers, just to quickly explain, I also feel like even as though they've won the last 2 World Series, they've had a lot of luck getting there.
Yeah.
Where they could have, they were very close to losing to the Blue Jays in Game 7 last year. So they could have lost. And the year prior, they easily could have lost leading up to the World Series before they dominated the Yankees. So maybe just their luck and their injuries, like they've been.
Runs out?
Yeah, maybe it just runs out. Anyways, Paul Skeens, National League. That's my one obvious pick that I'm going to go with. For the American League, I kind of struggled because there's Tarek Skubal or Garrett Crochet would be the obvious. Like, they're the 2 massive front runners.
Yeah.
But I kind of like if he stays healthy the whole year, which is a big if. I think Jacob deGrom has another Cy Young season in it.
Okay.
And I like the park. Like, the Rangers have a good park for pitchers.
Sure.
So, because another guy I really like, but I had the Royals making the playoffs, is Cole Reagans.
Yeah.
But the Royals have changed their. He'll still have a good season, but the Royals have changed their fences.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot more home runs there.
Dang.
Might mean that his stats don't look quite as nice.
Yeah.
But he still should have a good season too. But
okay.
Jacob deGrom, I'll say, if he stays healthy, Cy Young season.
I'm going for 2 obvious picks on the Cy Young because it just seems like the past few years it really has been the obvious ones that have won it. So I agree with you on Paul Skeens for the National League. I think Spencer Strider could have a bounce back year for the Braves, but I would go for, on the American League side, Garrett Crochet because I think he was so close to getting it last year, and I picked him as like my kind of unhinged pick because he really came out of nowhere, even though he'd been good with the White Sox. But I'm going to go with Garrett Crochet for winning the American League Cy Young.
One thing I do think that would go against Tarek Skubal or Garrett Crochet, but particularly for Garrett Crochet, the Red Sox have a whole bank. Like, they literally have 8 starting pitchers that are like they can run out there and have a good season. So I don't think they need to run Garrett Crochet, pitch him into the ground.
I don't think they should.
For the Tigers, that would also probably be if they're in the lead, if they have the
they
luxury
have to run Tarek to the ground.
Yeah, they might have to, but if they can avoid it, they will.
Sure.
So that they have him available for the playoffs. So
but they have no offense, so they're going to have to use Tarek Skubal.
I don't even have him making the playoffs, but that also just means maybe Tarek Skubal doesn't have quite as good a season.
So you don't have any Central teams making the playoffs?
Well, the Royals.
The Royals.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed you saying the Royals.
But I do think that could be a mistake because they can beat up on the bat. But I think the White Sox will be better. So I guess the White Sox will still be probably a last place team, but there's no horrible team in the Central to beat up on.
Yeah.
Potentially. where
I don't know. The Twins are pretty bad.
I think the Twins could. I feel like the Central every year, there's like one bad team, and then there's the other four are like all kind of mid. And so that's what I just kind of expect this year, and the Royals will be the one that kind of stick their head above.
Okay.
But in the West, the Angels are still going to be bad. Right?
Yeah.
The Athletics are more fun now. They've got some young potential, but I
Big
still
Amish
think
Nick Kurtz, let's go.
Yeah.
Shout out.
And then the Astros I think they've got to take a step back. They lost Framber Valdez.
Yeah.
They've been losing hitters too.
Yeah, they don't have Kyle Tucker anymore.
Yeah, and Jordan Valdez is often injured. Jose Altuve's getting old.
Yeah.
Like
no more Bregman.
They're running out of guys.
Yeah.
And so I don't think they're the Astros.
They're not the Astros of yesteryear.
They're not horrible, but they will not be. They'll be a team that a good team like the Mariners can take advantage of.
Yeah. One thing in the Astros' favor, they've got a good young group coming up in their lower leagues. So I think that helps them out with their farm system is pretty good. Okay, let's move on now to MVP.
All right. Like I said, the Royals have changed their fences. There's going to be more home runs in Kansas City, and that should be perfect for Bobby Witt.
Bobby Witt Jr. Okay.
Bobby Witt, and he does it all. I love Bobby Witt. I think he's just a guy that has a lot of good aspects to his game and just not a lot of weaknesses. And then if you pump up his home run numbers a little bit on a team that wins a division, I think he'll be a great choice for MVP.
Yeah, I like that pick for the American League. What about for the National League?
I will have to be boring and say Shohei Ohtani. He's going back to pitching too. So.
I know. It's hard to go against Shohei because of all the things he does. And even though I personally would love to see somebody else do it, I don't think the voters will allow themselves to vote for someone else.
It's either him getting injured or everybody just getting bored of him eventually. Yeah. Which I feel like that's what happened with Aaron Judge last year. People are bored of Aaron Judge, and we're kind of on to him that like his stats are kind of a fugazi of him, running up scores on games that are already over. And so, and then not obviously coming up clutch when it actually matters.
And playing in like one of the smallest ballparks in America.
Yeah, in two of them because he gets to go to
Boston.
The Rays, and the Rays stadium was last year the copy of the Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
That will not be the same this year. They're back at Tropicana Field.
Dang.
So that should hurt Aaron Judge's numbers. Anyways, but he was still better than Cal Raleigh numbers-wise.
Sure.
But we're bored. We're bored of Aaron Judge. But Shohei Ohtani is still so different that I don't think we will get bored of him. The voters will get bored of him.
Yeah, I think the voters are still very in love with Shohei. As long as he stays healthy, he'll get it. So he's also my National League MVP pick. For my American League MVP pick, I'm going to keep picking him until he finally freaking wins it. And that is Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Guardians. When is he going to get his roses? I hope it's this year. He had some health issues last year, and so he didn't have as good of a season overall. Mm-hmm. And that, honestly, I think contributed to the Guardians kind of floundering a little bit in the middle of the year. But then he picked it up as the year kept going. And so I'm hoping that he will get out there. He's got a new contract. He's extended with the Guardians. Mm-hmm. He's going to play there for the rest of his career. I hope that just puts more oomph in him to go and get it done finally. He's finished in the top 3 for so many years.
He's always in the mix.
Yeah.
But if the Guardians, if they do what you say and make the playoffs and go to the World Series, he'd be a great choice. But I don't feel like there's a great team built around him. So I feel like you almost always get your MVPs from playoff teams.
Yes.
So he's really got to make the playoffs.
The reason I'm saying that, as far as like him potentially getting that and then the Guardians making it to the World Series, is because of the next picks, which are Rookie of the Year. So go ahead and give your Rookie of the Year.
I have no idea.
No idea for American League?
I have no idea for either, yeah.
Okay, for National League.
Because you don't know who's going to play,
Well, I was thinking you'd give a shout out to Trey Savage. Canadian boy, for Toronto.
He's not from Canada, is he?
I thought he was from Canada because he had all his family at the game.
Well, yeah, if you were in the World Series, you would get your family to go.
I thought he was from Canada, but maybe I'm wrong. But then
no, not Trey Young.
For National League, you already gave a shout out to this guy, and that's Nolan McLean from the Mets. I think he could definitely win Rookie of the Year for the National League.
Yeah, but see, I don't know. Like, predicting rookie of the year at this point, it just feels like you go with the obvious person that's already on the roster, but that's not always the case. A lot of times it's somebody that comes up partway through the season. And so I just feel like I don't know enough to know. By the way, Trey Yesavage from Pennsylvania.
I think it's what I'm thinking of is he was making his debut, and so that's why all of his family was there in the playoffs.
I mean, he could have a good season. I feel like the Blue Jays take a big step back. That doesn't mean he can't win Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year can come a lot of times. It comes from like a last place team, like the Pirates with Paul Skeens, because they're horrible and they have to start their rookies. So
right.
But I just don't know. I don't know enough to know yet.
Okay, well, for me, for the American League Rookie of the Year, I am going with the Cleveland Guardians' Chase DeLauder out of James Madison University. He has been waiting for his chance to play. He finally got his debut, similar to Trey Savage, in the playoffs last year, the wild card. He has been lighting things up in spring training, and injuries has what stopped him from getting up sooner in the major leagues. And so he's been ready for a while, but he had some injuries. And so I think he is going to be one of the things that gets the Cleveland Guardians to the World Series. And he's also going to win himself an American League Rookie of the Year.
They're finally going to have like a third batter that's halfway decent.
Yeah, I think he'll be more than halfway decent if he's winning Rookie of the Year. He'd have to be. So I'm going with him. I also just want it to be a batter because I feel like every single year it's a pitcher.
I feel like it is easier for pitchers to wind up getting the award. But definitely. I can tell you have the Guardians homer glasses on.
Oh, 100%. How could I not? I love this team and I'm obsessed with them. So, yeah.
It's that fun time of year where everybody can have
everybody has opportunity to do this.
Yeah, even except the Rockies. Everybody except the Rockies.
If I was like a fan of the Rockies, I'd be so depressed. I'm sorry if you are.
Yeah,
it's sad over there.
The good news is if you're a fan of the Rockies, odds are you're a fan of the Avalanche and Nuggets as well.
They've
and
got
Broncos
other good
even.
teams.
So you can cry yourself to sleep during baseball season, but then wake up to having 3 teams in the playoffs every year. So you're not doing so bad.
Good point.
But I'm looking forward to this year. I didn't say, I'm picking the Red Sox over the Mets. I was trying to think, because just picking my own team, I'm feeling like a homer.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to reason myself to another team in the American League to make the World Series.
Okay.
Like, who else would I pick?
It really feels wide open.
Yeah, there's just so many. There's a lot of things that make me not trust basically anybody. And even the Red Sox, I have some doubts because their lineup, I think, is good enough to definitely win a lot of games in the regular season. Mm-hmm. But the playoffs, I don't know that there's a lot of guys that I particularly trust. I just think they will be able to figure out the pitching.
Yeah.
And obviously Roman Anthony.
I was just going to say.
I was thinking he
dark horse MVP candidate in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely he's got a shot. But the rest of the lineup is okay. It's not particularly scary. Maybe they add some stuff at the deadline. But
yeah, you need some guys to step up to the plate, similar to Cleveland. If the young people can work out, the young players can work out, there is such a high ceiling for these teams that have all of this young talent. If they go up and like the best case scenario happens, these teams 100% could be the best in the American League.
But the problem is that doesn't usually seem to be the Dodgers are not a young team.
No.
The Blue Jays were not a young team last year, making it to the World Series.
It's pretty rare. Although I would say
the Dodgers beat the Yankees a couple of years ago. The Yankees are not a young team.
I would say the Brewers were an example of a young team that kind of went off. And so it's not impossible. It doesn't mean that they always have playoff success, but it does mean that you can have a regular season team because I think the Brewers won the most games in the season.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of an NBA syndrome thing a little bit, isn't it? Of like you're going out all season long, playing your heart out, but then a team like the Dodgers that didn't need to play its heart out all season kicks it into another gear once you get to the playoffs that a young team doesn't have that extra doesn't know how to get to yet.
Right.
So, Red Sox and Mets.
All right.
Red Sox over the Mets.
Okay.
And if I had to pick another American League team, I don't know. I've been talking up the Royals a lot. I'll say the Royals.
Okay.
Anything else?
I think that's it. That's our baseball preview, guys.
Oh, we never mentioned the Fantasy Baseball League.
Oh, my gosh. Yes.
And you made it this far.
We made it this far, and how can we not mention this? We have a Fantasy Baseball League for the first time for Radio U. I think this is the first time Radio U's done it. And so...
First time I remember recently
Yeah.
anyways.
We've done football, but we haven't done baseball. So we'd love for you guys to join that. If you're as big of a baseball fan as clearly Hudson and I are, and you love all things stats and all the different teams, then definitely join us. You can find the league. The link will be in the show notes. It's also going to be on our social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Get connected and get in this fantasy baseball
The
league.
draft is this Saturday, so we're going to actually have the season start on Monday.
Yeah.
And maybe that'll be an advantage to everybody to get to see a few plate appearances and
Right.
pitching outings before we all start drafting. But yeah, it's going to be really cool. There should be plenty of spots, so hopefully you can get in before it fills up. And what else was I going to add on about baseball? I don't know. I guess that's it.
That's kind of it.
I got nothing. Have a good season, everyone.